Hello guys, I am Joy and in today's tutorial we will explore logical operations in Bash scripting. Logical operators are essential for making decisions and controlling the flow of your scripts. Imagine you are writing a script that checks if a file exists and if it's not empty. How would you tell the script what to do in each scenario? That's where logical operators come in. They combine conditions to create more complex decisions making logic. Bash provides three core logical operators AND, OR, and NOT. In this video, we will cover all these operators and see how they can be used with practical examples. So let's get started. So let us first discuss the AND operator. The AND operator allows you to combine two or more conditions. This operator checks if both conditions connected by it are true. If both are true, the overall condition is true, otherwise it is false. So first let me create a script file. Let's name it tutorial 7. And now let me show you the basic syntax for this AND operator. So this is the basic syntax of an AND operator. And here if both the conditions, condition 1 and condition 2 are true, then the commands in the then block will be executed. So now let me show one practical example. We will create a script that checks if a file exists and if it is writable. So currently I'm in this directory tutorial 7 and here I have this file tutorial7.sh. Now I am going to create another file test.txt. For this I am going to use the touch command. Now let me write the script and then I will explain how it is working. So in this script we first define this variable file where we enter the path of the file. So as I am in the same directory, that's why I only entered the file name. But if you are in a different directory, then you have to provide the full path of this file. So now in the if statement, here we have -f, then this variable file that checks if the file exists. And then this -w variable file checks if the file is writable. If both conditions are true, then this message, the file exists and is writable will be printed. And if any of the condition is not true, then it will show an error message. That is the file doesn't exist or is not writable. So let us save this script and run it. So now here we have these two files test.txt and tutorial7.sh. So first let's make this script file executable. Now let's run it. So it pings the file exists and is writable. So now let's make the file non-writable. That is, let's change the file's write permission. For this, in the terminal, write chmod, then -w or -w, then test.txt. So it changes the file's write permission. So now the files become non-writable. So if we now run the script, it should give us the error message. So let's check it. So as expected, this script now giving us this error message, the file does not exist or is not writable. So that's all about AND operator. Now let's see how does OR operator work. In contrast to AND, OR checks if at least one condition connected by it is true. If any condition is true between condition 1 and condition 2, then the overall condition is true and otherwise it is false. That is, the whole condition to be false, both the conditions should be false. So now let me show you the basic syntax of the OR operator. So this is the basic syntax of an OR operator and this is the OR symbol. Here OR operator acting between two conditions. If any of these condition is true, then the script will execute the commands in the then block, and if both the conditions are false, then it will do nothing. So now let's see a more practical example. Let's modify our previous script to check if a file exists or if it is readable. So if you remember, previously we make a change on the write permission of this file test.txt, that we made it non-writable, but it is readable. So that's what we are going to check now. So in this script, I made few changes. Firstly, I replaced the AND operator with the OR operator. Then here, instead of -w, I used R. to check whether a file is readable or not. Now let me change it here also. So let's save it and let's run the script. So it prints the file exists and is readable. So in this script, either this first condition or the second condition needs to be true for the message the file exists or readable to be printed. So in the script file, let's modify this again. Say let's say instead of R, let's check whether it is writable or not. But it should print the file exists and is readable because this file exists that satisfies the first condition. So it should give the message the file exists and is readable. So we know that the file is not writable because we changed the permission of this file. But as the first condition is satisfied, it prints the file exists and is readable. Okay, so let's talk about not operator. The not operator is used to negate a condition. That is, this unary operator flips the truth value of a single condition if the condition is true, not makes it false, and vice versa. So this is the basic syntax of not operator, and this is the not operator. It always checks the reverse of the provided condition. Now let's write a more practical script to see how not operator works. So let's create a script that checks if a directory does not exist. And if it doesn't exist, then let's create this directory. So here we define a variable dir and assign it a value data. This variable holds the name of the directory that we want to check or create. Now, if you are working with a bigger script file, then using a variable makes the script more flexible and easier to update it if you need to change the directory name later in your script file many times. That's why it is a good practice to use variable in a script. Now we have an if statement that checks whether the directory exists or not. This dflag is used to check if a directory exists, and this not operator negates this condition, meaning this whole thing checks if the directory doesn't exist. If the directory doesn't exist, the command inside this then block will be executed. It will print this message and will create the directory. If the directory doesn't exist, the script executes the commands inside the else block. So now let's run the script. But before that, let's check whether this directory data is present in the present directory or not. So list the content in this directory. And as you can see, there is no directory name data. So now let's run the script. So if you run the script, it says the directory doesn't exist, creating it. So now if you list the files, then you will see a new directory data is created in the present directory. So this is how this not operator works. You can also combine logical operators to create more complex conditions. Let me show you an example script. So in this script file, we have two variables, file and dir. File contains a file name and dir a directory name. And this if statement, we used multiple logical operators, that is and or operators. So the first condition is true if either both the file exists and is writable or the directory doesn't exist. The script prints file exists and is writable or the directory doesn't exist if either of these condition is met. But in our case, the file exists and it is not writable and the directory named data is also exist. So if we run this script, then it should print the statement in the else block. So let's run the script. So it shows neither condition is met. So that's a detailed overview of logical operators in bash scripting. We have covered the and, or, and not operators and shown you how to combine them to create complex conditions. So thanks for joining this tutorial on logical operators. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more bash scripting tutorials. So see you in the next video.